Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully everybody doing okay. Appreciate each and every one of you that takes time out in your day to listen to an old guy rattle. What am I going to talk about today? Well, as you all well know, I've been doing some maintenance work on our little van. I've had a noise in the front end of it for quite some time. And during a inspection of checking everything out, I discovered I had one tie rod in that had some slack in it. And it wasn't dangerous or anything. It's just enough to be uh, noticeable. So I decided to replace them. I got the parts in, and also my CV joint, the boots, they were ripped, and I sure want to protect those because it's just too hard to get new ones. Uh, I've already replaced those with used ones in the past, and when I found the new ones, I was excited. But I didn't have new boots at the time. I reused the old boots. Well, time takes, what Father Time does. Anyway, I got all this stuff in, and this time we had them take the struts out and disassemble them, take the springs loose, and check the shocks. The shocks are doing nothing. The springs is the only thing that was functioning. Well, I know what happened. I don't know if you can go back quite a few videos back. I've discussed this once before. It has been, I guess, close to 2 years. Anyway, on a little adventure going and getting our first batch of chickens, uh, we was traveling over to the west side of Negros. And it was getting about daylight. Wasn't quite hard at daylight. Just crack of dawn. And we done made it to the west side. And I wasn't driving fast, in kilometers per hour, 35, 40, something like that, which is about 25 miles an hour. The reason for it at that particular time was going through a community, as you're well aware of, at that time of day when it starts cracking daylight, that's when people start moving around. Well, I come up on a speed bump that was unmarked, unpainted, in the middle of the main highway. I hit that thing at full speed. Didn't get a chance to even touch the brake. I'm quite sure that's when I damaged those struts. Because it was a substantial impact. It was enough to get us raised up out of our seats when we crossed it. We basically airborne. And I've been driving it ever since like that. And I've always had, it depending on the dip, one on the driver's side in particular would bottom out. You can hear it thump. So, with a little luck, the parts will be here today. I'm getting them quicker than I expected. So, maybe, I don't know if I get to replace them today or not, but it'll probably be tomorrow or next day, depends when my mechanic's available. In the meantime, I got the rack ends coming, and those will get replaced too. It's the part that's got a swivel on it that connects to the rack. They call them rack ends. Get that taken care of. I know you guys think I'm going to spend a lot of money on a little van over time. Well, in reality, if you add it all up together, it sounds like quite a bit. But I'm not making a monthly payment, and I'm not carrying full coverage insurance. If you take that for the time we've owned the van and divide it by the months we've owned it, or what we spent on it, works out about in repair costs. I had it figured out here the other day, trying to break it down in dollars. Works out about $25 a month. And you sure can't have a payment at that. And another upside to it is too, if you buy a new vehicle here, you have to have all the service work done at the dealership, or there's no warranty. Well, cost of maintenance, oil changes and so forth at a dealership, not cheap. Not here it's not. And at the distance it is, the added cost is the travel, and in most cases, an overnight stay. Because it's 3 to 4 hour drive in either direction to the closest dealership. So there we go. That's where we're at. But it's not the end of the world, and the little vehicle's been dependable. We overhauled the engine a few months back, and it's doing great. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. It's almost due for another oil change, probably next month. I was checking one of the odometer readings. I keep track of my oil changes. It's got 2 different settings, one for trip, and the other one I use for oil changes. And I was checking it, and it looked like I'm getting close. And I'll change oil in it at that time. I already done one oil change since the overhaul. I done it roughly about 500 miles. And they come out very clean. And I've been keeping regular tabs of the oil. It's full and clean. I guess you wonder, why would you want to change clean oil? Well, the new rebuild, and the oil filter will trap a lot of stuff. And if you let it go long enough, the oil filter soon starts bypassing. Then it don't trap anything. That's why you do an oil change. Or you get by and just changing the filter and then a liter or a quart back. You could do that. But while you're at it, why not just put all new in it? I mean, to me, it's only logical. But that's where I'm at on that. And the little van gets a lot of use. I know a lot of foreigners here, they roll their eyes at buying these put together vehicles. Well, what can I say? If you live where I do, I'd rather take a put together vehicle to abuse with the roads as a new one for a number of reasons. If you get a new vehicle and you need suspension parts or whatever, you're going to pay dearly for it. And where I'm at, you will be replacing suspension parts. Actually, be honest with you, anywhere you live here in the Philippines, as rough as the roads are, you probably will be. Ain't none of the roads what you call smooth. They're pretty rough, even the main highways. I'm sure you've seen some of my driving videos and noticed that also. Excuse me. Time for a little coffee. Oh, yes. Now, what we're going to do now? Tell you a little story. Yesterday, Grace, yesterday evening, decided she's going to go out to the chicken pen. I didn't go because it'd been raining, and I know it'd be muddy, and I didn't want to go out there because, as you're well aware of, I don't want to fall down. uh, I'm at the age where I got to be extra careful. I don't want to be fall and break a hip or whatever. But anyway, get back to the story. He goes out there, and I know she spent quite a bit of time out there. When she finally come back, she says, I've got something to tell you. I said, well, tell me about it. She said, the chickens are doing great. I said, good. She says, but that Shamu, Mr. Long, he crazy. I said, what happened? She says, well, I went in the pen, and he was just calm as he could be, behaving. And on my way out, he got outside. Well, she said, I thought I'd just let him run for a few minutes while I get some more food and so forth to put in there for them. And, he was behaving. But when she turned her back, he started attacking the other roosters. And she's trying to separate them and everything. She ended up getting some scratches on her arm, nothing bad. Just enough to where you tell you he raped her. And just so happened, got lucky that my neighbors uh, picked up their daughter from school, and they arrived, and they went in and helped her put Mr. Long back in his cage, in his pen. Yeah. But she said, I don't understand. He was being so behaved, and he went wild. I said, well, a Shamu, they are naturally a fighter. They were bred that way many, 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 probably centuries ago, and that's their breed. That's the only thing they really know. I read a little bit about them, and they were. I think they originated in Taiwan, and the Japanese uh, took them, uh, started breeding them just for fighting purposes. That's another thing too. This is one of the countries where that's a big hobby, fighting chickens. Now they regulate it now compared to what it was when I first come here. It was open game almost a daily basis. Now it's set up for special occasions, fiestas, whatever, and it's monitored by the barn guy captains and so forth. And they do limit it. It's not as open as it used to be. Still goes on, and it's one of their hobbies. You know, anywhere you go, you'll see roosters being raised for that purpose. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people think, well, that's animal cruelty. Well, roosters, that is their natural instinct. I don't uh, go to chicken fights. I have been to maybe over the 15, almost 16 years I've been there. I think I've been maybe three for a short period of time each time. I didn't do no betting. I don't gamble. And it's just too brutal for me. Uh, I like animals too. But that's what they do. It's just one of those things in the Philippines that's part of their culture. And so if you're an animal lover and you uh, think badly about this, it's their country. That's the thing they do, and they get a lot of entertainment out of it. I know I used to be able to get. I used to have it on TV. I don't know if they still do or not. I haven't seen it. Of course, that's back when I was using satellite for TV. So I'm not I've seen it on TV in quite some time now. Uh, but I know most of the people in my area here, they quite a few of them raise roosters, and they get together and have their little entertainment. But that's life. That's part of it here in the Philippines. Uh, but our egg production is stabilized. We're getting about a dozen eggs a day, and probably getting more than that here in another couple of months. I got more chickens coming of age, and I got 17, 18 chicks in the brooder box right now. In a few more days, we'll have some more. Uh, I don't know how successful this batch is going to be. But trying to figure out how come my hatch rate's so low. Uh, I suspect where it's been so hot. That's about the only thing I can think of. Because, we've increased the food, and egg production is up, and they all seem to be healthy. We've not been losing any chickens lately. So, who knows? I'm no professional at raising chickens. I know when I was a young man and my grandparents, we raised chickens, and I don't recall anything like this. Really, I don't. That's what it is. Anyway, folks, don't want to bore you too much. I just thought I'd say a few words and let you know that I'm still kicking, not too high. Uh, I haven't been kicking high in a long time, but that's okay. I'm still enjoying life. And that's what I wish for everyone. I wish for everyone out there to enjoy life and see each and every day as something you can do, something that keeps you smiling. So until next time,